Hello guys and welcome back to another hair video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. Today we're actually learning some hair education. I don't know if many of you know, or well, I've mentioned this in a few videos now. I am actually doing a professional hairstylist course. I particularly wanted to do this because I just like learning things, and B, I feel like learning something like this is going to give me a lot more skill, so I can make a lot more cool content like this. So I will be doing beach waves, very similar to what I've got in my own hair today. I've used the exact technique that I'm going to be showing you on Lindsay on my own hair. The only difference is, when you're doing your own hair, it's a lot trickier compared to when you're doing it on someone else, and I wanted to do it on Lindsay's hair so I could really show you the technique of what needs to happen when or if you attempt this style on your own head, okay? I will be covering all the products that I'm using as well, but yeah, without further ado, I thought we would get into it, and I think you're really gonna love this style, and please remember to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Okay, well, let's do the hair. So what we're gonna do first, we'll lower Lindsay down. I wanted her to be nice and high. Oh, my hair looks so cool, I love that. I wish I woke up like this, but I just don't. It's not true. It's all fake. Okay, so what we're gonna do first is we're going to just brush the hair through, and I'm gonna get it all grouped up on top of her hair, and we work in sections. I've got some really cool shit to teach you about sectioning as well. Oh my god. Sectioning was actually like, I still need more practice at it, but it's one of the hardest things that I've ever had to try and do on my own hair. I've never been great at sectioning, and even working on Lindsay, I was like, how the fuck do people section so easily? And I'll show you the technique that I've learned to make that happen. Alright, let's start with the bottom. So we're going to get our tail comb. These are the best for sectioning. We've also got an ibis clip that we're just sticking into the top so we can access the rest of the hair easily as we go. The first thing we're going to want to do is come and grab a small section from down the bottom. Now the trick with sectioning is I used to like jam my finger in or jam my tail comb in and just like rip it and try and pull it down. The problem with that is the hair's all tangled over each other. So when you go for a section, you come in and come out like that. When you come out, what it does is it separates all the hair that's tangled and reveals the section that you actually want. See how all of those sections are coming out nicely? It was a cool little trick that I learned, and I was like, that's what I've been doing wrong the whole time. So come out, don't just pull it down. And then all these bits here, you know that they're not meant to be part of the section. This is the first time I've sort of worked with Lindsay on camera as well, so I've got to be very conscious of my angling right now. Right, cool. There's our first section, and we're always going to start from the bottom and move up the top of the head. What you're going to want to do is heat your curling wand up. The curling wand I have is from a brand called A Body. This came with my actual course. A Body. I've never before this course used a curling wand, so it was a very interesting first time for me. This is the one I'm using, been great so far. In my course as well, I got told that you should heat this up until about 320 degrees, and then you're ready to work with the hair. Okay, so we've got our section here. I could probably get 4 waves out of this section, and what we want to do is we want to grab our first one, and the thing you need to keep in mind when doing these beach waves is anything around the hairline has to be curled a certain way. The reason we do that is so it keeps it off the face. We don't want the hair drooping down. See how these waves sit that way? This one is uninterrupted. When I move forward, they're not all drooping down and annoying me, and that's because I've curled them a particular way, okay? If we're working on the left, what we want to do is curl over the wand, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So you'd get the wand here, right? Yep, okay. And then we're going to curl over. See that? How it goes over? And what that over action is going to do is point this curl, once we're done, away from the face. Ta-da! Like that. So that's when we're working on the left, we're going to go over the wand. When we're working on the right hand section, we want to go under the wand. So instead of going over this time, I'm going to go under, and as you can see, by curling under, it's giving that hair a flick to the back, and that's the way that we want any hairs or any strands or sections around the hairline to point. 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. Hold it for about 7 to 8 seconds, and then we've got our next wave. Ta-da! Once you get your head around the way you have to wrap around the wand, like under and over, it's very simple. You kind of alternate it based on the outskirts of the hair. So on the left, we're going over, and then the next one we'll do under, and then the next one we'll do over, and then we know that this outer side one is under. Okay, if that makes sense. Here, we know we went over here, so I might grab my next section, and we're gonna go under. They do also supply you with a heat-proof glove. The first time I used this thing, I burnt myself like crazy. I was like, fuck. And then this one, we're gonna go over. Just around. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! And then we've got some of our beach waves. So you can feel free to move these around as well. We don't want a solid curl. It's not supposed to be like a really tight flat iron curl like in many of my other videos that I've done. This is just like a really nice loose beach wave. And what we're gonna end up doing is doing it to the whole head to give it all of this nice, beautiful look, which you'll see very shortly. It'll start looking like mine, probably better because I've got more control over what I'm doing here. It does take a bit of time to get this technique right as well, so don't bash yourself up if you don't do well the very first time. There's been so many frustrating points between doing all of these hairdos that I have to do for this course, so I'm just like slowly bringing the ones that I really like to you guys. So, done. Look at that, gorgeous. Okay, so that was under. The next one's gonna be over. By getting the heat through all the hair, you're giving it shape, and also as it's just sitting there, it can cool off and retain itself. Now because I've got 5 sections here, and I know that the last one I did was over, but the one on this side has to be under, I'm gonna do another over one. Over. And obviously if you're doing it on yourself, you wanna be careful, or on someone else even, you wanna be careful that you don't get too close to the scalp, because you don't want to burn the person. I mean, Lindsay doesn't ever say anything because I'd slap her if she did, but no, I'm just kidding. But they look really lovely, look at them. So there we go, we've just done 2 sections of hair. These waves are looking gorgeous, and all I need to do now is repeat that entire process over the whole head. It's really just the over-under technique that you got to get right. Doing it on another head is one thing, again, doing it on your own head is another. As for products, I will show you what we're going to be using after I do the whole head, so to see how I finish this off, just stay tuned, okay? Here we go, let's speed it up, Kimbo. Alright guys, so now I've done most of the head. As you can see here, these beach waves are starting to look fucking fabulous. How good do they look, right? I had to tie my hair up because working with all of this lighting was just a bit too hot. Now the reason I needed to stop and tell you about what I'm about to do next is I'm about to finish off the hairdo, and we're up to the last couple of sections on top. Depending on the part that your client or yourself has, will depend on what you do with your technique. So yeah, I'm gonna have it going from the right to the left. This section's gonna sit over like this, kind of like how I normally have my hair. But if you have a middle part, you'd part it down the middle. You make sure the left side is all over the wand and pointing backwards, and then this one you'll make sure it's all under and pointing backwards. But for this one, because we want the hair going over this way, I'm just gonna keep doing left-hand curls, particularly for this front bit here. These sections behind, I can still do over and under, but it's just that very first front layer of hair that they're all gonna be over that way, if that makes sense. It's very hard to like reiterate what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna put that section over there, get it out of the way, and I'm gonna continue. Alright guys, so I have finally finished the whole head of curls, and as you can see, this is what we've ended up with. We are still not done yet, but essentially this is all of the work being done. The only last thing to do is add a few products in to smooth it out and make it really beautiful. But for the most part, like, these are pretty luscious, pretty gorgeous looking waves. Like, look at them. They're not super tight curls, they're just very loose, very flowy, and they look effortless, but really, as you can see, there was just lots of twisting and curling that I had to do. And now it's time to talk about products, really. So for the actual curling part, we used the Body curling wand. I have never used a curling wand before this one, so this is one I was given in my course. I was using a tail comb to do all of my sectioning. When I work on myself, I find working on myself with my fingers is a lot easier. Working on somebody else's hair using a tail comb is a lot easier there. I used an ibis clip to secure all the hair and pull from, and then I'm also about to use a bit of Behave Right Control Oil and a bit of John Frieda Frizz Ease. This serum here was something as well that I'd always walked past in the supermarket, and I thought, oh, John Frieda, what a supermarket brand. The tutors in my course were actually using it, and when I saw the effects of it, I thought, wow, that's really, really cool. I'm going to be using a bit of that today. And to use this properly, if you've got really coarse hair, I would recommend this. This works really well in my hair as well. All you want to do is get like a little tiny pump like this. Not too much. And just like you would with Blue Mun or whatever, you would rub it between your hands so it warms up and it's nice and usable. And then what you want to do is just run your fingers through the hair gently to loosen up the curl a little bit more, break it up a little bit so it doesn't look so prim and proper, because we do want to make it look kind of natural, and they are just fucking beautiful. I love doing these hairstyles. I'm also a really big fan of wedding hairdos. Some of the wedding hairdos I've had to like pull out for this were really, really amazing. And Kimbo, if you could just put a side profile right now of what Lindsay's hair was looking like when I did my first chat, like side by side, just to show what a difference it can make. This probably took me about, I don't know, what, half an hour? 45 minutes? On myself, it took a little bit longer because, again, like the coordination is a lot harder. I was a little bit disappointed with the health of Lindsay's hair when it came. It's not as, like, healthy as I was expecting, but, you know. Now I'm using a squirt of the Behave Right Control. This is also an anti-frizz serum. And it's just making them look so much shinier. Oh, hey girl. And see how none of the hair is flopping onto her face? It's all sitting back. That's because of the technique that we were doing before. Beautiful! Look at it. Honey. Much better. My hair's like a little bit old now. I did it a couple of hours ago, but this is a few hours of wear of doing this exact same thing. So Lindsay and I are looking very same. We're twinsies. Hers is so much cleaner than mine though, but I kind of like mine really messy like this anyway. And there we have it. So I don't really have much else to sort of elaborate on here. This is how you do plain beach waves with the curling wand. I thought this was a really, really fun one to bring to you guys because the technique isn't too difficult. It's fun to learn new things. I got to use new products that I'd never used before, and I feel like I'm quite good at it. So why not try it? Especially, you know, after doing it on the mannequin and then trying it on myself, it didn't take me long to get something that I was happy with, and you guys can do the same as well, okay? If you've got any questions, make sure you leave me a comment in the comment section below. And if you want to see any other particular types of hairdos, like do you want to see wedding hairstyles? We could do some male long hair wedding hairstyles. We could do some women long head hairstyles. You name it. I'm keen to start putting into practice all of these new skills I'm learning and share them with you guys because I really want to bring just more value. Okay? Until next time, I will see you next week for my next video, and I hope you have a splendid week. Goodbye!